Stop learning English. Improving customer relations by promoting low-context communication in the workplace. Languages are like icebergs. Most of what matters lies under the water, deep down in the historical context, and is therefore unlearnable in the classroom. Yes, while German, French, English, Spanish and Russian, and even Hungarian are different over the water, under the water, they're all the same. However, Korean and Japanese are different both over the water and under the water. And compounding this difficulty and this difference is the underwater section of Asian languages is much bigger than Western languages. Asian languages are high in context. To understand the difference between high and low context, imagine you're a spy waiting outside a room and listening to two people talking. Those two people are strangers. Then you go to another room and you listen to two other people talking, and these two people are old friends. Which conversation is easier to understand? Correct. The strangers are easier to understand because they will speak to one another in a polite, explicit and straightforward way, making very few assumptions. Friends, on the other hand, have a secret code. They know each other so long they don't need to use words to convey meaning. Hand gestures, nods, winks, smirks, smiles and silence can be just as effective. Friends speak in a high context way, strangers speak in a low context way. Isolated for millennia, Koreans and Japanese are homogeneous people who use the assumption-filled language of old friends. Americans, on the other hand, are immigrant strangers who rely on words plain and simple. These cultural differences are profound and go a long way to explain why it's so difficult for Koreans to learn English and vice versa. To improve customer relations, Korean companies routinely put their employees through thousands of hours of generic English classes. However, they often end up speaking English in a high context way, i.e. English that is tied to the Korean operating system and is full of Confucian cultural assumptions that are baffling to the Western mind. Therefore, generic English language training should end at university. After that, Koreans should focus on cultural training and low-context communication. Korean and Japanese are among the highest context languages in the world. These cultures are group-oriented, emphasizing relationship building and intuitive thinking, hometown family connections, and harmony. Low-context culture, on the other hand, is logical, linear, individualistic, and action-oriented. You are expected to put the most important information first and keep the message front and center at all times. When presenting, you rely on statistics rather than poetry, and you are results-oriented rather than process-oriented. Therefore, Korean companies should train their workforce in the paradigms of low-context culture, since this is the default setting of global business. In global business, everyone is a stranger, and communication between companies must have few assumptions. To communicate effectively, it is imperative that you understand the needs and interests and cultural paradigms of your customer. When you are managing overseas teams or selling to overseas customers, you need to change the way you communicate with them. You also have to be aware of potential conflicts that can arise when high context culture meets low. Westerners insist that you get to the point quickly. They believe that the most talented person should be promoted regardless of age. They expect you to be clear in giving instructions and to support your opinions with facts. They loathe unfounded assumptions. Show me, prove it. Show, don't tell, just give me the facts. When you are writing sales letters, you must demonstrate value and benefit. Contracts conclude negotiations, whereas high context cultures are suspicious of contracts because they feel it undermines the personal trust between parties. For more information on how to communicate in a low context way, please visit our website.